Hello there and good morning, two-stroke turbo fans. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another day of working on old cars and petting dogs. This is my shop dog, Stella. You see her almost every intro. She loves having her face scratched. She's a pretty good puppy. She's going to try to get into my lap now. You funny dog. You've got quite the following on two-stroke turbo channels, Stella. Everyone wants to see you. What are we talking about today? What are we doing? Stella, you going to introduce what we're doing? Okay, so we're at home today. If you haven't figured it out, you just met my shop dog, Stella, who's going to take a little nap right there. Wait for me to quit talking. And we are looking at my red Isetta. Every now and then, a customer, or I should say a viewer of my two-stroke turbo channel, notices something that even I overlook. I've got a pretty good eye for detail. But if you look at the back of this Isetta, you will see that this gasket is starting to fail. This is the original gasket from 1956. This is the air intake. In other words, the air is drawn in through the air filter through the back of the Isetta right here. You wouldn't really know that. And this is your license plate light. Normally there's just a license plate light down here. You can see it there. I put on the accessory third brake light for added visibility. Normally this is blanked off with just a black piece of plastic. I put a lighted one in there. I think it looks pretty cool. But you can see the gasket material, getting back to that, is in terrible shape. It's original. But for originality, for 1957 to now, you know, we're talking, what are we talking, 60, 70 years? It's not bad, but it looks bad. And somebody who watches my channel had the ability to send me a new gasket that he made. Look at that. That goes right there. All I got to do is pop this off. There's 3 bolts, 1 on the top and 2 on the bottom, and undo the light and put this new gasket in its place. I'd really like to thank that guy. And if you would like to thank him, maybe you should go visit him. He really knows his stuff. He's not solely into Isettas, but microcars and cars of all types, worth checking out. Thank you, Miles. That's going to make my Isetta just look so much better. And he also threw in some of the other trim, which I think is for like the inside of this here. I think you can cut that, I believe, and make that work. If not, the Isetta is going to be sporting a new gasket, and I'm pretty darn excited about that. That's been on my list of things to do for a long time, and I think I'm going to take care of it right now. Thank you again. All right, well, welcome back to the two-stroke turbo channel. This is my shop dog, Stella. I'm petting her in front of the rear of my 1957 Isetta, whereas the other morning, I was getting ready to go to work, and I thought I had enough time to replace this worn out gasket that seals the air intake and the license plate light. And Stella's like, what are you filming me for? What am I doing here? Okay, you can stop yawning, Stella. And why don't I have you scoot out of the way? There we go. Beneath Stella here is the gasket. We're going to replace it. A lot of you were like disappointed in my video because I didn't show how I replaced it. So we're going to pop this air housing off. Might polish behind it. You can see it's hard to polish up against this gasket because it's so cruddy. The thing just kind of like, it basically is falling apart. It's almost 70 years old, which it's done very well. You can see up in there. Turn the light on here. You can see up in there a little better. It's totally cracked. And I think I can make this gasket with this vacuum tubing. Make my own. So I want to again thank Mr. Miles Chappelle on sending me the wherewithal to get this job done. It's been needed for a long time. Okay, so I think we got it loosened up from the backside. Let's try to take this off without scratching. The factory Neo lacquer paint. I think that's going to come off. Yeah, look at that gasket. That is old. That is, wow, really old. That's been on there since well before I was born, 20 years prior, almost. Okay, we're gonna clean that up. We're gonna see if we can polish this a little bit, get this cleaned up, and I think we're gonna take this part off. Yeah, 2 screws, and put a new gasket in there as well. That'll look really nice. Maybe even clean this up. We got some cleaning to do, so give me a few minutes. Okay, after a little bit of polishing, this is the original Neo lacquer paint, which has not been exposed to the sun. So that is the actual color of the car. You can see with the housing on here how this is darkened. The light versus dark. This is the actual color of the car. So the color of the car is darkened over time. I polished all this. I got most of the crud stuck gasket off. That should be covered, but I might work on it a little more. I'm going to now work on the housing, take it apart, polish it, and put the new gaskets in, and hopefully it'll look a lot better. I know it will. Okay, so now I got both the housings cleaned up. This is the new gasket that goes behind this one. That'll look fine. I have to make the gasket for this out of vacuum tubing. I'm going to slice it and use it around the edge. The original gasket was this, and I don't have that, so I've got to make something. Okay, I just put the new gasket on. Look at that, all the way around, even on the top. And my new vacuum tube gasket, which is basically made from a coil of vacuum. I just split it down the middle with a razor. That came out pretty good. It doesn't have the same gasket in the middle of it like the original, but the edges are fine and look much better. And as far as this is what's left of the old big gasket that went around the edge. Look, there's just nothing left. So that's really nice. So we're going to put this back together, put the light back in, make sure that works, and give it a little polish around here. This is where the gas is filled. Every now and then the gas will spill because it doesn't click off all the way. And this is Neo lacquer paint, which means that when you rub on it with wax or rubbing compound, you will get some red paint. You can see in my rag here, if you rub hard enough, you will get red paint, so there's no clear coat. We got to be careful about that. Okay, and just like that, we got it all back together. We have a nice new gasket all the way around our air intake opening, and we have a nice new gasket around our license plate light. And if you'll notice, I turned the lights on for you, so you notice my license plate light is working and my running lights are on too. I have to step on the brakes to make this come on. This is my third brake light for added visibility. But I think that wraps it up. I'm going to do some more polishing around my license plate frame, see if I can get this stain out of my license plate and maybe around my bumper. But that's going to make the Isetta look a lot better. And again, I thank Mr. Miles for the encouragement and the incentive to fix that. Otherwise, I probably would have done something else on a warm Saturday. Probably been out in the boat or petting the dog. I don't know. Something else.